I'm Simona Cotoni and you're watching Awaz News. Ontario to remove vaccine passport system on March 1st, masking requirements to remain in place. The Ontario government will remove its proof of vaccination system on March 1st and is moving up the second phase of its COVID-19 reopening planned to Thursday. The province said in a news release on Monday that despite moving the vaccine passport system, businesses and the other settings may choose to continue to require proof of vaccination. Masking requirements will remain in place at this time.
Well, good morning. As I've said from the very beginning, the extraordinary measures that we introduced during this pandemic were always intended as a last resort. And I stood at this very podium and promised you that these tools would only be used for as long as they were absolutely necessary and not one day longer. The removal of these measures has always been our objective and something we have collectively worked towards for months now. We started in January when we welcomed kids back to class and opened businesses. Since then, key indicators have steadily improved. At the peak of Omicron wave, over 4,000 people were hospitalized with COVID-19 in Ontario. That number has now dropped to 1,500. 12% positivity hit highs of nearly 40% in early January. It has now dropped to 13%. And Ontario's healthcare workforce continues to stabilize as we lift Directive 2 and restart more surgeries. Because of this progress, we heard from our Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Moore, 2 weeks ago, and again last week, that we were fast approaching a time when we could safely remove restrictions.
Judge grants injunction in Ottawa as Trudeau talks Emergency Act with premiers. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau consulted premiers about using the Emergencies Act Monday, while an Ontario judge granted an injunction to enforce noise and idling bylaws related to the ongoing anti-vaccine mandate protests in Ottawa. City Solicitor David White requested the injunction Friday, saying the protesters were flagrantly violating bylaws against relentless noise, idling of trucks, settling of firework, and open-air fires. The Hazel McCallion Line. Ontario government to name new LRT after former Mississauga mayor. It is a birthday gift that is going to be hard to top, even for someone who has been around for more birthdays than most. The Ontario government has announced that the currently under construction Ontario LRT will be named the Hazel McCallion Line in honor of the longtime Mississauga mayor who turns 101 years old today. The 18-kilometer line is supposed to be open in 2024, and when it does, it will provide a rapid transit connection from Port Credit to the south all the way up to Steeles Avenue in Brampton, with links to GO Transit's Milton and Lakeshore West Line, the Mississauga Transitway, Brampton Transit, Zoom, and MyWay. Number of people in ICU with COVID-19 dips below 400 for first time in more than a month. The number of people being treated for COVID-19 in intensive care units has dipped below 400 for the first time in more than a month, just as the province announces plans to lift most remaining public health restrictions. The Ministry of Health says that there were 1,369 people in hospital with COVID-19 as of Sunday, including 394 in the ICU. Black scientists won't stay in Canada without equitable research funding, experts said. Canada has to wake up and understand that we need to keep our scientists here, says McGill professor. The system for granting federal research funding in Canada fails to give Black scientists the support they need to optimize their work, professors and researchers said. Not providing that stability for the researchers may result in brain drain to other countries. Who has worked in US and Canada? Rescued after 2 months in remote BC wilderness, Bear Henry survived on canned food and hope. A 37-year-old missing for more than 2 months in a heavily forested area of Vancouver Island says they survived on beans, rice, peanut butter, tomato sauce, and other canned food. Bear Henry was last seen on November 27, 2021, while on their way to an old-growth lodging protest at Fairy Creek. They were reported missing to the Victoria Police Department on December 11th, sparking a search that included police helicopters, volunteer ground searches, and missing person posters across the island. Risk of frostbite as temperature feels like minus 30 in Toronto this morning. An extreme cold weather warning has been lifted for the city of Toronto following a morning in which the temperature felt like nearly minus 30 degrees Celsius. Despite the sunny weather, the city was under an extreme cold weather warning, with it feeling like minus 28 degrees Celsius in early hours of the day. The temperature is expected to eventually rise to minus 8 degrees Celsius. With the wind chill, the temperature is expected to feel like minus 11 degrees Celsius. Ottawa's mayor has set a deadline of noon today for truckers and Campton Capital's court to move out of residential streets in a bid to pare down the size of protest footprint. Mayor Jim Watson outlined the proposal in a letter released on Sunday as a part of a back-channel deal aimed at ending on the ongoing protests against pandemic health measures. One of the protest organizers, Tamara Leach, tweeted late Sunday night that the trucks would be leaving residential area on Monday. OPP launched investigation into officer who appeared to support Ottawa convoy protests in video. Ontario Provincial Police have launched an internal investigation into the conduct of an officer after a video taken during a traffic stop surfaced on social media, where he appears to voice his support to the ongoing convoy protests in Ottawa. In the video, which was uploaded on TikTok in a post that included the hashtag #FreedomConvoy 2022, an officer is seen talking to the occupants of a vehicle he had pulled over. At one point in the video, the officer is heard saying, "I get what you guys are doing. I support you guys 100%. The video has been widely shared online, and police have received backlash from those denouncing the occupation in nation's capital, which entered its 17th day on Sunday with no sign of it ending. Thank you for watching Awaz News. Stay tuned for more updates.